I keep my goals to myself, cause whenever I share with folks, they get a look upon their face and their memory floats to a time where their goals and the stars
AEW Dynamite was bad. This show was absolutely bad. I am flabbergasted. This show did not go off the air until 10:33, 10:34. This makes no sense. What are we doing? Tony Khan, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? This makes no sense. Even when NXT was on the USA Network, they never did some stuff like this at all, period. Like, this is stupid. This makes zero sense. Why would you book a 34-minute overrun? It's so damn dumb. Tony Khan has no idea what he's doing at all, period. Why are we getting a trios match, a nonsensical trios match, to kind of basically end Dynamite before we go to Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay? I don't get it, man. I really don't understand this. This is pathetic. This show was bad. And then you have people like kind of down because Motor City Machine Guns, they didn't show up. It's like, it doesn't matter. Even if they would have showed up, they wouldn't have made a difference. Period. I really don't understand why people are looking for surprises anymore. Like, that's not going to mean anything. It doesn't matter enough. There's a possibility that they could bring in Motor City Machine Guns on Collision. But if they don't show up on Collision, then they're not coming. And it doesn't matter. Again, Tony Khan only needs 3 people from the recent batch of releases, which will be The New Day and Kairi Sane, and that's it. And if you want to bring in maybe Sheamus, that's fine, but basically just those 4 individuals, and that's it. That's all you need. I just don't understand it, man. I really don't. But this show was bad, and I don't know what else to tell you guys. I really don't. I really don't. I mean, they've got a month to build until we get to All In, and it ain't looking bad. AEW Dynamite's not showing signs of life. It's not. It really isn't. And I don't know. I don't know what can be done, but this was a awful show. Awful. So, we kicked the show off backstage with Jon Moxley and everything else. Renee Paquette, she's backstage. She's trying to interview Will Ospreay. So Will Ospreay shows up. He walks right past her, and then he runs into the Death Riders. So him and Moxley, they slow each other down for a brief moment. So Daniel Garcia attempts to talk shit to Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay's having none of it. He ends up beating up Daniel Garcia. So Pac and Willa Yuta, they proceed to jump Will Ospreay, but Jon Moxley holds him back and asks Will Ospreay if he wants to do that. So Will Ospreay gets into the face of Jon Moxley and tells him he doesn't get to pull the trigger for him, and he gives him the Death Riders patch back and says he's out. Jon Moxley says it looks like Will has it all figured out, and then looks around at the Death Riders and pulls Daniel Garcia to his feet. So Will Ospreay then walks away. Renee tries to go in for an interview, but Hangman Adam Page shows up. That gets a good reaction from the crowd. So Hangman says he wants to catch up because he knows what it feels like to be in Ospreay's shoes right now, feeling all alone in the world, and Will didn't let him feel that way last year, so he's returning the favor, and if Ospreay needs anything, just let him know. Will says he appreciates it, but he's got so much on his plate. The Empire are down on his neck, and he's got the Death Riders to worry about, and he can't trust Kenny, and that means he can't trust Hangman. So Hangman says sometimes the deciding factor is whether or not you believe it, and at Wembley he's going to be the best he's ever been, and he knows Ospreay has it, so Will thanks him and then moves on. Okay, that's fine there. This was okay. I actually did like this. This was all right. Moving on from that, this leads us into the first match of the night. Andrade El Idolo retains the national championship against Jack Perry and Nick Wayne. Who really cares about this? This match never should have occurred on television. This was just a waste of time, so whatever. I don't care. Moving on from that, Tony Schiavone interviews Andrade post-match. So Andrade says that he feels tranquilo because he screwed MJF. Then he kissed the Dynamite Diamond Ring. He said that he screwed Don Callis, and he can beat anyone, and he'll be the best national champion ever. And he's asked if he thinks he'll compete in a Casino Gauntlet qualifying match next week. He says, "Well, how you know?" And that was it. So this was fine, I guess. Moving on from that, Renee Paquette, she's backstage. She's interviewing the Brawling Birds. They say it's all elite wrestling, not all elite talking, and Divine Dominion have been ducking them for far too long. Whenever and wherever they see them, they better be ready to ball up their knuckles and brawl. Okay, whatever. Who gives a damn? Moving on from that, this leads us into the Don Callis family. So Kyle Fletcher says he doesn't know what show she was watching because he retained his AEW International Championship without anybody's help, and he's well on his way to being the greatest international champion of all time. Don Callis says the good news is Mark Davis is angry, and he likes him angry, and now Kevin Knight knows he needs the family, and the sky is the limit for him. Kevin Knight says it doesn't feel great to lose, but it feels great to go toe-to-toe with one of the greatest ever. And we all know that Jet isn't done headlining shows and wrestling for world titles. He says he's still champ, but Kyle better watch out going against Speedball next week. And they're all tied up record-wise. Kyle Fletcher says that the title will never leave the family, and Kazuchika Okada shows up out of a door. So he says that Kyle's right, and the title will not be leaving the family. Whatever, I don't care about this. Who gives a shit? Moving on, Bro Dido and Speedball Mike Bailey, they defeat the family, and Brian Cage, Kyle Fletcher, and Jake Doyle. So, there's that. It is what it is. Who gives a damn about this shit at all? I don't care. I don't give a single fuck about this. I really don't. Moving on from that, this leads us into Edge and Christian and the Young Bucks. They have a sit-down interview with Renee Paquette. The Bucks talk about how important this title match is to them, and both teams revolutionized tag team wrestling. Edge says he agrees and says they're in the same boat of mutual respect given what the Young Bucks have done to keep the tag team wrestling alive. And there was a long time there where tag team wrestling wasn't particularly valued, and the Bucks did a fine job keeping it alive. Christian says they didn't come back to do a greatest hits tour, and they're not here. They're not here just going to prove that they're the greatest tag team of their generation, but of every generation. And it's good to know the Bucks' wives are coming to the show. Matt Jackson doesn't know about that, but says it's about cementing their legacy that they're working on, and if they win the tag titles back, they can become the most decorated team in AEW history. They spent 2 years getting the tag titles back, and All In last year they lost everything, and they blew their opportunity in LA. Edge says they understand because they were both retired, and they were told that they would never go again. And it was 25 years ago since the last time they won tag team gold, which is true. Matt Jackson says take this as a warning if you'd like, but they're legends, and all but nothing will stop them from taking the tag titles back, and they'll be lucky enough to get one on the board, because they're going to come faster, harder, stronger, and take the tag titles back. Christian Cage says it sounds like they're trying to convince themselves that they'll rise to the occasion against their heroes. He respects everything the Young Bucks have done, but they're going to beat them. Edge adds that even with everything they've accomplished, people still doubt them at this stage in their career. The Bucks say their entire career has been fighting from underneath. They're too small. They throw too many super kicks. Their style doesn't work. But they're Matt and Nick Jackson. They're the Young Bucks, and they've been doing this for a long time. Okay, whatever. I don't care about this at all. I mean, this was fine, but this should have taken place in the ring instead of doing like a sit-down interview. That makes no sense, but who the fuck knows what Tony Khan's doing. I do expect for the Young Bucks to win at All In, more than likely. So, whatever. I don't care. Apparently, Edge is going to be doing a couple of shows for Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, which is pretty cool. So, that's pretty interesting. So, kudos to Scott D'Amore for getting that to happen. That's pretty cool. So, nice. I like that. That's interesting there. Moving on from that, Maya World, she retains her TBS Championship against Persephone, so whatever, that's fine. I don't care about this at all. She'd have tried to get involved in the match, but Chris Statlander showed up to stop it, so, there's that, whatever. Moving on from that, this leads us into Mark Davis. He's backstage cutting a promo about how furious he is at losing his national championship, and he wants his turn, his ire to hurt Will Ospreay. The record books says that they're 1-1, but Will's win has a heavy asterisk next to it thanks to the Death Riders. Will Ospreay doesn't have any friends, so he'll leave the Don Cost family at home, and he'll chew them up and spit them out. I don't care about this shit at all. Who gives a damn? Moving on. Oh, boy. The Willow Nightingale championship celebration was awful. Oof, this thing was bad. So Willow Nightingale, she shows up. She says the crowd is far too kind. She gets emotional. She says these reactions are still surreal. It's exactly the kind of thing people dream about. Not just a dream, but her dream. She's grateful for us for being with her, because there's been doubters along the way, and not everyone has looked at a girl like her. Make it as you will. Quirky, eccentric, chubby, weird, and they didn't see it. They thought it would never happen. This past year, she's made us apparently happy. She's become half the first ever women's tag team champions, won the TBS championship, and then she got hurt. It was tough. It took her to a dark place. But who pulled her out of it? Good old mama. So she's talking about her mom and everything. She calls her a warrior princess. She told her she got two options: stay down or she can fight. So Willow says she fought to get into the Casino Gauntlet, and she fought a dangerous, toxic champion in Tekla so she could win her bad boy right here. She continues on in the promo. Then Mercedes Moné shows up. She said she didn't come out to ruin her celebration. She came out for business. She wants Willow to sign the contract for All In right now. Willow signs the contract on Mercedes' chest. What the hell? Which was weird as fuck. and she smacks it away. They go face to face, basically. So Willow wants to know why Mercedes is upset. Is it because she's not getting the attention, or is it because she was the one who put an end to her 584-day reign as TBS champion? Or is it because she has the one championship that Mercedes can't get? So Mercedes says it's not just her stupid smile or the fact that all these people love and adore her. It's the fact that every milestone, somehow her name is all over Mercedes' story. When she got hurt and her career stopped, all these people celebrated Willow. When she fought her way back and chose AEW, she had to go through Willow. When she becomes the greatest TBS champion, when she became the greatest TBS champion of all time, guess who took it all away? Willow. Oh my gosh. So, Mercedes is, continues on by saying she's holding one thing. The one thing that Mercedes is destined to hold, the AEW Women's Championship. So then the crowd chant "shut the fuck up," which was hilarious. And then they continue to bicker on and everything else. And then they get into a little brawl, basically. So Divine Dominion show up. They beat up Willow. And then the Brawling Birds come out to make the save. This was bad. This shit was bad. Oh my God, this shit was bad. Holy shit, this was bad. This was all bad. But whatever, man. This was awful. Absolutely awful. Garbage. Moving on from that, Jon Moxley defeats Commander to retain the AEW Continental Championship. Who cares? Moving on from that, the Bang Bang Gang, they want to get revenge on the Dogs for whatever, so who cares? Doesn't really matter. Who cares? Main event of the evening, wrestling-wise, the Conglomeration, which is Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Orange Cassidy. They're defeated by the Man, which is Ricochet, Bishop Kong, and Total Leon. Who cares? Because Jay Lethal and Blake Christian and Action Andretti get involved, and they help the Man win. Who cares? This was pathetic. This was absolutely pathetic. Don't really care. Then the heels beat down the baby faces, and then Hangman comes out to make the save. So I guess they're gonna do stuff with Hangman. I guess I don't care about this shit at all. Who gives a damn? The Death Riders, they cut a promo backstage talking nonsense, so it doesn't really matter. I don't care about this at all. Moving on from this, the actual closing segment of the show, Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega, they have an awful promo. I don't even want to go over this thing. This thing was mega long. Don't even really want to talk about it. It just was not good. Omega ends up slapping Will several times, and Will knocks Kenny on his ass, and then Will vows to beat him at All In, saying that he's going to pull the trigger, and when he does it, Kenny won't see it coming. So, there's that, and that was Dynamite, man. This shit was just awful. Like, I wanted to bang my head against the wall. This was so bad. This was even worse than Mercedes and Willow. This was even worse. Holy shit, man. This show sucks, dude. That's all I can say. This show sucks. It really does. But that was Dynamite, and it was really, really bad. So, whatever. But what did you guys think of the show? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.